Hello, everybody, and welcome to, well, you're there on Instagram, but hello, everybody, on both Instagram and Facebook. Welcome to this week's episode of Social Quiztancing. Tiny little quiz, 15 questions, just to give you a little bit of entertainment, give you something to do while you're stuck at home. Although some of you are headed back to work or in some sort of capacity. As of today, if you're in the Mid-Hudson region, or as of yesterday, if you're in the Mid-Hudson region. So the way that this works, if you're joining us for the first time, is that I'm going to read you 15 questions. We'll do 5 general knowledge questions. We'll do 5 connections questions, where I give you 4 apparently random clues, and you tell me the hidden connection between those clues. And then we'll do 5 in a special round that changes from week to week. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you've done this before, give yourself 1 point for each question you get right. Why not? You can tell me how many points you've got. That's great. I always like to know that. If you're enjoying the quiz, let us know. If you have quiz questions that you'd like to submit for me to do on the show, please send them to Ryan at Desmond-Fish-Library.org or just DM us on any of our social media things. We will get to it. So, let's start with the general knowledge round. So I'm going to read you the questions first. I'll read all 15 questions first, and then I'll read the answers afterward. So our first question is, the Swedish chef is the only Muppet with what feature? You know the Swedish chef, in the Muppets. He's the only Muppet with what feature? Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Makes the Swedish chef so delightful. What is it? Number 2. What online legal publication was developed by a character in Arrested Development? What online legal publication was developed by a character in the TV show Arrested Development? Question 3. Named after an 18th century woman, which hairstyle, versions of which are worn by both men and women, involves a large volume of hair above the forehead? So, named after an 18th century woman, which hairstyle, worn by both men and women, involves a large volume of hair above the forehead? Okay. Question 4. Nearly all watches and watch advertisements are shown displaying the same time. What is it? So think about a watch advertisement you might see. I don't know how memorable they are. Almost all of them will show the exact same time. So what is that time? And if you know why it's that time, give yourself a half a point. That would be great. Okay, fifth question in the general knowledge round. The U.S. state of Nebraska has declared that this head of state, an admiral, and commands that all officers, seamen, tadpoles, and goldfish under that person's command observes the rules of the Great Navy of Nebraska. So, the U.S. state of Nebraska declared another country's head of state to be the admiral of the Great Navy of Nebraska. Who is that head of state? Okay. Now we're going to move on to the connections round. So I'm going to give you 4 apparently random clues, and you tell me what the hidden connection is. So if I said John, Paul, George, and Carpet, you would tell me that they are all Beatles. They're all kinds of Beatles. Okay? All right, let's start. So I'm going to show you the clues in order. I'll give you all 4 clues progressively. So if you get it after the first clue, that's amazing. Give yourself 5 points. If you get it after the second clue, give yourself 3 points. If you get it after the third clue, give yourself 2 points. And if you get it after all the clues, give yourself 1 point. Or do a different point structure because it doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. Okay. Number 1. Octopus, the Explorer, On the Shelf, and the Science Guy. Octopus, the Explorer, On the Shelf, and the Science Guy. Those are your clues. What is the hidden connection that connects all 4 of those clues? I think you probably got that one. Next. Alan Turing, great computer scientist. William Burroughs' wife. Her name was Joan Vollmer, and I hate, referring to women by the men that they're married to, but that's the clue here. The clue is in her name, in that marriage. Snow White and Eve. Alan Turing, William Burroughs' wife, Snow White, and Eve. What's the hidden connection between those 4 clues? Aha. I see your comment. All right, this one we have the snowman, Isadora Duncan, the 4th Doctor from Doctor Who, and Hogwarts students. The snowman, Isabel Duncan, the 4th Doctor, and Hogwarts students. What connects those 4 clues? Number 4 in this round. Laugh, ache, button, and dancer. What connects those 4 things? Laugh, ache, button, and dancer. All right, and last one in the connections round. Expanding ravenous green goo. Living ventriloquist doll. Haunted camera. An evil mask. Those are your 4 clues. What connects them? Okay, and that's it for the connections round. For our special round this week, we're going to be looking at kind of literary phenomenon. We're a library. Why not do it? So, punctuation like the question mark and the exclamation point and the comma, all these, and the lovely, wonderful, underappreciated semicolon. But there are lots of punctuation marks and typographical marks that have fallen by the wayside or are simply rare. So I'm going to show you 5 different typographic marks that are either defunct or obsolete or just extremely unusual, and you tell me what they mean. You may recognize them, but can you tell me what they are? This is the first. What does that mean? If you saw that in a book, what would you do? Next one. This, sometimes rendered this, or this. You'll see it either way. Number 3. Number 4, what would this mean in the text? And lastly, number 5. Okay, so think about those for a minute. Now, if you'd rather not hear the answers right now and you want to work on these and come back to them later, feel free to pause me or come back to me in a little bit. This goes up and it stays on Facebook and Instagram or IGTV for a while, or indefinitely, really. And it'll also be on the library's YouTube page if you want to come back to them later. If not, I warn you, I'm going to start reading some answers. So let's hear some answers. Now, the first question in the general knowledge round that I asked you was, the Swedish Chef is the only Muppet with what feature? Once you notice this, it makes you appreciate the Swedish Chef all the more. He's the only Muppet with human hands. The only Muppet with human hands. If you look at the Swedish Chef is a puppet, but the hands are human hands, whereas all the other Muppets have Muppet hands. Number 2, what online legal publication was developed by a character in Arrested Development? And that is Bob Loblaw's Law Blog. Bob Loblaw's Law Blog. Okay. Number 3, named after an 18th century woman, which hairstyle, versions of which are worn by both men and women, involves a large volume of hair above the forehead? Jamie got this one. It is the pompadour, named after Madame de Pompadour. I do not have a pompadour. If you do, send me a picture of you with a pompadour. Put it in the chat. Why not? Number 4, nearly all watches and watch advertisements are shown displaying the same time. What is that time? So all watches display 10:10, 10 minutes after 10. And the reason is because it puts the watch hands facing like this, and that helps to show the brand name in between them. And so it's sort of become tradition that you put them at 10 after 10 because it shows the best version of the watch face. Anyone with an Apple Watch, or occasionally some other watches, will show them at 10:09, and that is to show that you are ahead of the competition. Which is, I love a dad joke, but that's a level of dad joke I don't know how much I can get behind. Okay, last one. The U.S. state of Nebraska has declared that this other country's head of state is an admiral of the Great Navy of Nebraska. They said that it commands that all officers, seamen, tadpoles, and goldfish under that person's command observe the rules of the Great Navy of Nebraska. There is no Great Navy of Nebraska, and yet the Queen is the admiral of the Great Navy of Nebraska. So Queen Elizabeth II is an admiral in the Great Navy of Nebraska, which does not exist officially. It's a great fact. People are so strange. Okay, on to the connections round. The first set of 4 connections that I gave you were octopus, the explorer, on the shelf, and the science guy. Now, see if you can get these. These are Dr. Octopus, Dora the Explorer, Elf on the Shelf, and Bill Nye the Science Guy. They're rhyming jobs. I don't know actually if being the elf on the shelf is a profession or is a hobby. I don't know which of those is creepier, honestly. Who knows? All right. Next one I gave you was Alan Turing, William Burroughs' wife, Joan Bulmer, Snow White, and Eve. So these people all, did anyone get this one? These people all had bad experiences with apples. Bad experiences with apples. Alan Turing committed suicide by eating a cyanide-laced apple. William Burroughs' wife died in an unfortunate game of William Tell. Snow White ate the poison apple. She really should have probably recognized that. And Eve, clearly, apples and Eves. Okay. Number 3, we have The Snowman, a great children's story. Isadora Duncan, the 4th Doctor from Doctor Who, and Hogwarts students. What connects them? Scarves. Scarves connect them. Snowman wears that scarf in the children's story. Isadora Duncan had an unfortunate experience with the scarf. The 4th Doctor is known for his flamboyant scarf, and Hogwarts students wear their house colors on their scarves. Okay. This one. Laugh, ache, button, and dancer. What connects those? They all 4 can be preceded by the word belly. So, belly laugh, belly ache, belly button, belly dancer. My 1-year-old is obsessed with belly buttons, and she goes up to people and demands that they show her their belly button. I thought of that question. All right, and last one in the connections round. We had expanding ravenous green goo, living ventriloquist doll, haunted camera, an evil mask. If you put things behind me, you might be right, but they are the subjects of Goosebumps books, the first series of Goosebumps books. They are Monster Blood, Night of the Living Dummy, Say Cheese and Die, and, ooh, I forgot that one. I think it's the Haunted Mask or something like that. Okay. And lastly, we come to the special round this week, in which I gave you 5 unusual or obsolete printer's marks, and you had to tell me what they were used for. So this first one, you might recognize, it's got a great name. This is the Interrobang, and it is used, as it looks, to show you the to mark a sentence that is meant to be read both as a question and a surprise and an exclamation. So what, right? Because we see that rendered with a question mark and then an exclamation point, and the Interrobang combines those two. It's a lovely little mark that never really caught on. This one, you can see it on its side or right side up. It's used both ways. This is the Hedera. It's actually a leaf of the Hedera plant. It's called a Hedera, and it is an older way of marking a paragraph break. So you would have a paragraph, and then instead of white space between the paragraph or the 2 paragraphs abutting them, you'd have a Hedera in the middle. You still occasionally see it. It's a fairly old-fashioned mark, but yeah. Now we have this one. So this is a dagger and a double dagger. Dagger and a double dagger. I'm assuming that a lot of people have seen these before and maybe not. Maybe that didn't strike your memory. They are used for footnotes when you've already used an asterisk. So normal convention is to use a 1 and a 2 and a 3 for footnotes. But if you use an asterisk for a footnote and then you have a second one that needs another footnote, you do a dagger. If you need a third, it's a double dagger. I don't know what you do after a double dagger. I should have looked that up. Anyway, I didn't. This one. This is a manicule. And a manicule is really cool. I wish I still had them. They are little hands that monks doing transcriptions of works would copy into the margins for a particular spot that was of interest. So literally, it just means look at this. It's cool. This one, and its name will give it away, is the irony mark. And this was an attempt at marking with an actual punctuation mark when a sentence was made to be ironic. This is the irony mark. I don't know if it's meant to look like a cartoon person, but it sure does. There's a nose and there's a so yeah, that's the irony mark. Never taught on with that one, probably for the best. So that's it this week for Social Quiztancing. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something or did well, or just maybe passed 20 minutes that might have been hard to pass. So join us next week, as always, at this time for the same. And we will see you again at 6 o'clock next Wednesday. If you have, let us know what you're enjoying about Social Quiztancing, or what you'd like us, what we could do better. And definitely shoot us some questions if you have any out, and we'll consider them for the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Wash your hands, wear a mask, say hi to somebody who might be lonely, and take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself, and we'll see you next week. Bye!